Hey guys, Jay here. So first of all, I want to say that it's been one hell of a journey to that 100,000 subscriber milestone. We passed it about a week or two ago, and I've been in cloud 9 ever since. So, starting my channel just a few years back, I really haven't even thought about the possibility of my channel reaching 100,000 subscribers. It feels like yesterday that I was chasing for that 20,000 milestone. So really, I want to thank every subscriber and also viewers that's not, maybe not even subscribers, but also contribute to this channel and watch this channel. I want to thank every single one of you. And I've been really thinking hard on how I can pay that forward back to you guys. So in this video, it's going to be all about me paying forward back to you guys. So in this video, I'm going to be revealing my top reference list or my top recommendation list. And what this means is that out of all the stuff, all the speakers that I have reviewed on this channel up to this point, this is currently my personal best at each price point. And of course, this reference list can be updated as I review more speakers. And if something I review is better than what is currently on the reference list right now, then it will be replaced. But currently, as of 2024, up to this point, it is up to date, and this was only available for Patreons up until now. And I'm revealing it for the first time on my channel, the fully updated version. But not only that, I reached out to virtually every single company on this list and asked if they want to collaborate with my channel to celebrate that 100,000 subscriber mark with a giveaway. And I got 4 companies that said yes, and you will be very surprised on what we are giving away on this video today. And the real cool thing is that you don't have to be even a subscriber to enter into these giveaways. Like I said, I do appreciate the viewers that contribute to this channel, even if they are not readily subscribers. Of course, I appreciate and I would wish that you become a subscriber, but I do again understand the different reasons a viewer might have for not subscribing, and I respect those reasons, but I still think that you should get a fair chance at these giveaways even if you're not a subscriber to the channel. And all the links to the giveaway is linked in the description below, but make sure to watch this full video so that you understand how to enter the giveaway, what we are giving away in the first place, and also which giveaway to enter, because we have 4 different giveaways going on in this video. So without further ado, my under $1,000 reference speakers. So my under $1,000 reference list starts with the Polk R200. Now, not only is this an excellent speaker in the sense that it has a neutral, balanced sound with a little bit of more bass emphasis for that little oomph, I think this speaker is an excellent choice for that under $1,000 because when it comes to that under $1,000 price category, we're talking about the best bang for your buck. And in that case, for audiophiles that's coming into this hobby right now as a beginner, or for someone that's, an avid audiophile that wants a small bedroom system or a small minimalistic system, I think it's an excellent contender for that under $1,000 price point. And I truly think it's the best bang for your buck because not only does it come at $1,000 US, but you can get it at a discount price often, or even in the used market for less than the MSRP. And for that kind of value, I think this speaker offers a lot. Again, that port design is interesting on the Reserve series, and from my experience with these speakers, I can place them close to the wall without getting them too boomy. Again, going back to that, beginner audiophile kind of thing where you don't have to bring the speakers out so far out into the room. You may not be able to do that with a lot of the speakers. But this speaker, you can get away with pushing the speakers closer to the wall, and it doesn't get boomy like other speakers from my personal experience. And it measures well, it's pretty friendly with amplifiers, and overall I think it's a really good, easy speaker to start out with or for a small minimalistic setup. You can check the full review for every one of these speakers in the link description below. But another speaker that comes to mind is the GR Research Exos Encore Kit, And this is another speaker that is on the reference list under $1,000. And the reason this speaker is on there with the Polk R200 is because this speaker for $903 comes in a kit, which means that you do have to roll up your sleeves and build it yourself, but there's value in that. You know, you save some money, you get a really nice speaker for surrounds, for desktop setups, for, you know, small living room situations, or in, you know, bedroom systems, or a starter audiophile. You get to build something with your own hands, understand more about the speakers, and you get rewarded with that, you know, effort with music. You do need to know how to solder and stuff like that, but there's value in learning, and if you are someone that wants to learn more about building speakers and be rewarded with music, with a really good sounding speaker at the end of the day where you feel like you saved a lot of money because you built it yourself, I think this brings tremendous value for only $903. And of course, because it comes in a bare plywood, you can leave it as bare, or you can finish it to however you like, whatever kind of paint you like, or wood veneer, or whatever finish you like to match the aesthetics to whatever space that you may have. So there's definitely the added customizability with kit speakers that you can appreciate. Now, moving on, my reference speakers for $1,000 to $2,000 price point. And once again, at this price point, I think we're still talking about the best bang for your buck, the best value, and for that, it's hard to not talk about the CSS-1TDX kit. And of course, this is a kit, so you do have to roll up your sleeves once again and build it yourself. But the real cool thing is that for $1,334, this is much easier to build than the GR Research kit, in my opinion, because it does come with a board that has all the values that you can place. It's like a puzzle. And if you're a beginner, have never built something like this ever before, I think the CSS-1TDX kit is much easier and much more rewarding at the end of the day, because you are building a bigger speaker than the XLS Encore. And again, I can rave about this speaker over and over again. It's such a great value, you know, real best bang for your buck in my opinion, especially that bass authority that comes out of a bookshelf speaker this size, not to mention the quality of the crossover and the overall neutral balance of things. And I can go on and on and on, but I will not bore you with the details. I made a full video on it, so make sure to check the link description below for the full review. But CSS has agreed to give away the 1TDX kit with a superior crossover, so that is with all the Jensen capacitors and the highest value possible with the kit. So you can sign up for that giveaway right now in the link description below. And once you click on the link, there's going to be multiple different ways to enter. You can maximize your chances by doing every single one, or you can choose the ones that you're most comfortable with. And once again, I have another speaker in that $1,000 to $2,000 price point, and that is the KEF LS50 Meta. And no, this is not a kit speaker, so you don't have to build it yourself. And so for those of you that don't want to build anything yourself and wants a finished product that is designed by a proper company with proper engineering, I think the KEF LS50 is hard to beat for $1,500 US. This is a really good speaker. It has a dual concentric driver that is specially designed by KEF, and if you actually see, the same driver is used on their flagship, the KEF Blade speakers. And because it's using this dual concentric driver, you get really nice imaging, phase coherency, and a lot of the benefits of a dual concentric design. It is a smaller size speaker, so it fits well on desktop setups, small room setups as well. And you do need some more power because it is a pretty power hungry speaker, so amplifier pairing does matter. But if you're looking for a all-in-one solution where you can stream, have preamplifier, amplifier, DAC, and all that kind of built in, that sounds good with KEF speakers in general, then I would recommend Hagel. It's not the most inexpensive integrated amplifiers out there, but it is an all-in-one, which means you don't need anything else but some speaker cables, and it is a phenomenal match with KEF speakers as a start. And I don't think anyone's going to really regret this pairing. But I'll link to some of the Hagel integrated amplifier reviews that I've done in the past in the link description below for you to check out, so that you can decide if you want it with the KEF speakers. But again, the KEF LS50 Metas, the special thing is that it's a dual concentric driver, it has good phase coherency, has really locked in center imaging. So if you're someone that has always had trouble with having center imaging locked in properly, this speaker is the way to go in my opinion, especially for that $1,000 to $2,000 price range. And of course, I did a full review on this speaker as well as every other speaker on this list, so I'll link it in the description below and not babble on any further. Now, next is going to be that $2,000 to $3,000 price point. And on this list, I actually have two finished speakers on this list because I genuinely can't pick one or the other. They're quite polar opposites in a way. And so the first speaker on this list is the Arendal 1723 THX S monitor. So this is not the monitor, but the S monitor. And in fact, I find that the S monitor is better than the monitor itself because I've tested both, and I find that the S monitor, even though it's a smaller, more compact kind of speaker, is not small by any stretch of the imagination. It's still a big speaker for a monitor. And it provides a lot of value, like with a lot of the Arendal speakers out there I've seen. And for $2,100 it's a really hard speaker to beat. It measures well, it sounds overall neutral, but with really good technicalities. And if you want to add some tube amplifiers, it takes good effect of that as well to give tube characteristics. It throws a large sound stage and really nice imaging from that waveguide, great dispersion pattern. Overall, it's a fantastically well-engineered speaker that you can really enjoy in variety of different setups for different purposes. You can use this for rare channels, side channels and home theaters, but also for 2-channel music. It's extremely musical in my opinion, great technicalities once again. And of course, I made a recent video on it, so I'll link that in the description below for you to check out. And another great thing about Arendal speakers in general is that they do have a 60-day in-home trial, which means that you get to try it in your home. If you don't like it in the 60-day period, then you can return it. So, it's a really good speaker to try out. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But I'll be very surprised if you don't. It's a really good speaker, extremely hard to beat for $2,100. Now, another speaker on this list for a little bit more at $2,400-ish is the Buchardt S400 Mark II. And some of you may be surprised because this speaker has been out for a while. I reviewed it like 3 years ago, but it's still on this list, and it's a speaker that I always reference back to because it's such a good speaker that brought tremendous value into the industry. It really set the record for that kind of price range in my opinion, of having great deep bass extension, great refined high frequencies, really nice textured mid-range and nuance. Overall, slightly warm of a sound, but very inviting, very good dynamics. And most importantly, it uses very good high quality parts in the crossover. So if you're someone that cares about the quality inside and out, the Buchardt S400 Mark II, in my opinion, is extremely hard to beat. And the great news is that we have a giveaway for the Buchardt S400 Mark II. And so once again, you can click on the link description below for the Buchardt S400 Mark II giveaway if you find that is something that you want to enter into. And you have a variety of different options to choose from and the ways you can enter. Now the next price point is going to be $3,000 to $4,500. Now I will say that this price category is a very competitive price category. There's a lot of great speakers I've seen in this price category, and this was not an easy choice, but really I only have one speaker that really deserves the reference list, and that is the 1723 THX speakers from Arendal. And this speaker comes in right at $4,000 if you live in the States, and if you live elsewhere then it's a little bit more, but still I think it's an extremely good speaker under that $4,500 mark. And I've said this before, but it's one of the speakers that I truly feel, out of all the other speakers that I have reviewed, is a true giant killer. Meaning it actually does perform equally as well as something that costs way, way more. And I've compared it to like Wilson audio speakers because I love Wilson audio speakers. And in fact, I heard a Wilson audio speaker that costs like 3 times as much right before I set up these speakers. And then I was like amazed by how these speakers actually sounded a little bit better to me at the higher frequency especially. Now aesthetics is a different thing. This is a much bigger speaker than the Wilson audio speakers, and of course these speakers are going to require some room. You don't want to plop these speakers into a small confined space. So this is when you have a dedicated room and you're a little bit more serious about setting up a actual listening room, and for that, this speaker is an absolute bargain. It's a lot of speakers for the money that you get. I mean, from the bass to the treble, it's such a well-balanced, well-designed, well-engineered speaker. I cannot speak highly enough about this floor-standing speaker. But I'll stop raving about it. I made another whole rave review on this speaker that you can check out in the link description below, so I won't go into further details. But this is a speaker that is truly amazing, that really has my heart when it comes to this price category. And guess what? We are giving it away in this video. Yes, Arendal, it was a hard one because they don't usually give away things through YouTube channels, but I convinced them. They are giving away the 1723 THX speakers that we're talking about here. So make sure to enter into that giveaway. If you don't enter into any other giveaway, this is probably the giveaway that you should enter, but just make sure that you do have the space in case you do win. Now next is $4,500 to $6,000 price point. Now we're entering into a little bit of that higher end market where things get a little bit more expensive and you expect quality. And the truth is that this price category is tough because it is a price category. There's a lot of different products, but they all sound different. They're trying to do something special. So it's not so much that one is better than the other. It's usually that they have a different characteristic that stands out and so on and so forth. But my choice for now is the Alta Elisa loudspeakers, and these are speakers that I reviewed a little while back. And the reason I picked this speaker as my reference at this price point is because of its resemblance to the sound that I like, the Buchardt S400 Mark II. So if the Arendal 1723 THX towers were the floor standard version of the Buchardt S400 Mark II, well, the Alta Elisa, in my opinion, is the Buchardt S400 Mark II on steroids. Now again, I made a whole video about the speaker that I'll link in the description below, but this speaker has a full-bodied sound, overall an all good rounder that is good to up to maybe medium-sized rooms where you want grand sound stage and really nice imagery and really nice kind of smooth sound that you can enjoy for long periods of time with great refinement and details. I think this speaker is excellent, and it comes with two different kind of port design. It's a hybrid between a transmission line and a port design, which gives a very unique sound to the bass with great texture and body. And so it's a really good speaker. Make sure to check it out if you're interested in this price category. Now, next price category is $6,000 to $8,000. Now, in this price category, I currently have my personal reference speakers, meaning this is a speaker that I personally own and want to always connect in my system whenever I get the chance or when I'm reviewing something. It's probably one of the most familiar speakers that I have going on right now, and that is the Platimon from MonAcoustic. Now, the high-end AMT tweeter on this speaker is absolutely insane. It extracts every nuance in the music. I hear every little detail and nuance. It's a technical masterpiece. And because of that behavior, it can be analytical with some gear. But with proper gear matching, this speaker is the best of both worlds in my opinion, and I've been enjoying its fine balance of musicality and technicalities. And I can say confidently, with the utmost confidence, that I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds with this speaker. And I will link to that reference system tour that I did in the description below so that I can check out exactly what I did to achieve that fine balance between musicality and technicalities with this speaker. But because this is a Korean brand, and I'm Korean, my background is Korean, some people think that I'm backing a Korean company. That is not the case whatsoever. The only reason I found out about the Platimons is because I visited Korea to my grandmother last year, and that's when I decided to hear the Platimons at a dealership, and that's when I fell in love with the speakers. It has nothing to do with nationality. I don't review based on nationality, and I've been living in Canada all my life, and I have very little connection back in Korea. So just want to put that out there. But just out of whim, I did reach out to MonAcoustic to see if they would be willing to give away the Platinums to celebrate the 100,000 subscribers? And after careful consideration, they said yes. So yes, we are giving away a $6,000 speaker with the matching stands that's worth another $2,000. So that's $8,000 together with the matching stands that we'll be giving away. So make sure to enter into that giveaway if you want to know about the reference speakers that I have been loving so much. Now next is the $8,000 to $10,000 price category. And again, in this price category, I have two different speakers, but the first one is the Borresen X2 loudspeaker. This is a floor standing loudspeaker and I reviewed it and was thoroughly impressed with the overall sound. Now I will say, with the gear that is provided with the Borresen company, if you buy from the AGD, the Audio Group Denmark, then the sound is the analytical masterpiece. You get every detail, it's very quick, but I found that the upper mid-range can be, for some people, slightly dry. But when you pair it up with other gear in the market, you can get the speaker to sound warm, rich, inviting. It's a very interesting speaker in how it reacts to different types of gear. And so for that, I think the speaker is excellent for the overall musicality, overall detail retrieval level, the overall cleanliness of the sound, the transparency, the attack and decay structure. I think overall the aesthetics as well is a fabulous looking speaker as well. So make sure to check my full review. But for the price that they're asking at $8,800 US, I think this is a phenomenal tower speaker that is really hard to beat at this price point. However, when it comes to warm sounding speakers that, is absolutely nuts, it has to be the Rosso Fiorentino Sotaldo loudspeakers, the Sotaldo 2s. And these loudspeakers, when I first reviewed them on this channel, you will remember how I described them. They're a warm sounding speaker with perfect imagery, really good detail retrieval. And again, with warm speakers, sometimes it's hard to have those details pop out at you. And without shrillness, without brightness, because it's a warm, inviting speaker. But the imagery, the sound stage, the exactness of the imagery, all the details, is a technical masterpiece, yet it's a warm, inviting sound, and it's a slim tower. So for those of you that want a slim tower, in a condo, in an apartment, in a small living room, or even a medium-sized room, this is a extremely awesome looking speaker with extreme craftsmanship from Italy, and it does cost $10,000 US, but I think the value is there because the sound that you get out of the speaker is just absolutely insane, and it's so unique because it's warm, but with all the micro details and nuance that is very layered. So it's an extremely good speaker. Again, hard to beat because there's really not many speakers like this even at higher price points. For $10,000 US, I think this is an extremely good slim tower and hard to beat for really any kind of price category in the presentation that it provides. Now, next price category is going to be $10,000 to $15,000. And really at this price point, I only have one speaker that I can confidently say, I've owned it, I've reviewed it, and I highly recommend it. And that is the TAD Micro Evolution 1 loudspeakers. This is an extremely awesome loudspeaker. Now, I've gone to the Florida show, I've gone to Expona and heard their more expensive offerings from TAD. And for those of you that don't know TAD, they're basically the luxury branch of Pioneer. They actually used to make, studio gear, studio speakers, but they moved on to home audio now. And the really good thing about the speaker is that basically, just like the KEF LS50 Meta, it has a dual concentric driver for the tweeter and the mid-range, and then it has a separate woofer. And what that means is that this is a true three-way speaker. So you get a tweeter mid-range in one, and then a woofer separately, and that allows the bass to really extend low for the size of the bookshelf. And also the tweeter and the mid-range, because it's phase coherent, you get that benefit, especially in those vocals and high frequencies where it truly matters with all the great imagery and detail retrieval and phase coherency and deadlock center imaging. It's a fabulous technical masterpiece. This speaker is extremely technically advanced, And even though it's technically advanced, I don't find it overly analytical or overly, clinical to where it strips the musicality of the pieces that you're hearing. I find that it's extremely musical and it makes me want to play music after music, just listening into the music, all the details, all the nuances that the speaker provides. Extremely good speaker. The only downside is the price, but when you see the speaker, you will understand why it costs what it does. It's extremely well built, and the craftsmanship, the port design, the slotted port designs on the side, and all of it is extremely higher engineering. And if you ever see the speakers yourself, you understand that this speaker really stands out, even compared to the ones that we talked about until now, in terms of build quality, the craftsmanship, and the sound it provides, the technology it provides. Now, the final price category is the $15,000 to $20,000 price point. And for this price category, we'll start with the more expensive one, which is the Totem Metal version 2 at $18,000. And now it is a lot of money, but this speaker is truly special. Totem speakers always have a special place in my heart. Like I said, Totem Tribe Towers, all these speakers that I've gone through, Totem Bison Twin Towers as well, that just has immense musicality and expression of sound that resembles almost like a panel speaker in a way. It's very transparent, very open, and the tonality is so realistic to my ears. It sounds like the real thing, as close as it is to the real thing as it can remotely come from speakers. And when I first reviewed the Totem Metal version 2s, I realized that this speaker is basically the Totem Tribe Towers on steroids with more bass capability, great tone, this open, spacious sound with all the great details. Now, it can get a tad bit bright with the wrong gear matching, but once you give it good gear and good synergistic match with the speaker, this speaker takes you to another level. So it's a very serious speaker. For $18,000, it better be, but it's a very serious speaker, and when you treat it seriously, it rewards you infinitely. This is an extremely good speaker, and I actually have a Patreon near me that lives near me that owns this speaker after my review, and he absolutely loves it. And sometimes he asks, when he gets that upgrade bug, he asks, what should I upgrade to? And I just say, keep the speakers, man. Those are extremely good speakers, and as long as you have the gear that backs up that speaker's capability, you can take it to infinite amounts of enjoyment. It is an extremely great sounding loudspeaker. And I know for those of you out there, you're gonna ask me about Wilson Audio loudspeakers, but while I do have experience with Wilson Audio loudspeakers, I do like the tonality of the Totem Tribe Towers and the Metal version 2s a little bit more. And not to mention that I actually haven't reviewed Wilson Audio speakers specifically on my channel. So this is limiting to whatever I have reviewed, meaningfully listened to, and spent a lot of time with on this channel. And out of all the speakers that I have reviewed and enjoyed, the Totem Metal version 2s have always been on that top list. And it is a speaker that I do eventually want to purchase again and keep it in here as my reference. So that's going to happen hopefully in the near future. Now, another speaker that's on this list is the Joseph Crowe number 1680 horn speakers. And this is a $15,000 loudspeaker, but it's handcrafted. It's a very boutique company by Joseph Crowe, who's a very talented designer. And this is not a typical horn speaker that has a lot of the horn characteristic or the nasalness of horns. This is a very properly designed horn. And if you ever heard a properly engineered, properly measured, properly tested horn designs, this is the horn design to look at. This is without that nasally kind of sound that you get from some horn speakers, very crystal clear, but with the projection and the powerfulness of the horn. So it has the benefits of the horn and it doesn't have the negatives of a horn design, and that's how I see it. Great off-axis dispersion patterns, so you get even sound, great power response. Wherever you're in the room, you get the same kind of tonality and sound characteristics with immensely powerful bass. And these speakers use highest quality materials, both in the crossover, in the cabinet, and also the drivers they use is extremely high quality. So if you're someone that, again, the best bang for your buck, the best value at this price point, every dollar counts kind of thing, even though it's a $15,000 speaker, I think it's really hard to beat because there's a lot of commercial or more, less boutique companies out there that sells horn speakers like this for way more than what Joseph Crowe is asking for this particular speaker. And so if you're a horn fan, if you've never heard horns or have heard horns but didn't like the nasalness, definitely give the speaker a try. It is painstakingly made with great engineering and craftsmanship that you really can't find in the normal consumer world, I would say. And so that's pretty much it. I hope this video was entertaining and fun. Please click the like button, subscribe, share, and comment, and do all those YouTube things. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Best of luck on those giveaways. Until next time.